NPP debunks allegation of drug trafficking on its party. Gambians decry price hike of basic food commodity. And wrestling promoter urges for investment in the sport. These and more coming on Gambia24. Stay tuned. Good evening, you're watching Gambia24 News with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. Barely 3 months ago, the Gambia government seized nearly 3 tons of cocaine from a shipment of the industrial salt originating from Ecuador at the seaport in Banjul. This has released concerns on the borough administration among the political elites in the country. Binta Jallo tells us more.
Many accuse NPP donors of being behind the drug trafficking in the country. Speaking to iAfrica TV, the administrative secretary of the National People's Party, Mamajik Njai, said the accusations are baseless and those altering them are envious of the party's progress.
You know, the Gambian people should appreciate the tenacity and the professionalism of our law enforcement officials. You know what? This drug must have passed through several ports and it was never detected. Where were they captured? In the Gambia, small Gambia. So which means they've done a fantastic job by arresting these people. To say we, NPP, we deal with drug peddlers, let them come up with evidence. It is not our responsibility to provide evidence. It is the responsibility of the accuser to provide evidence to substantiate his or her claims. So like I said, these are people that by virtue of the crowd they have seen in the stadium, they can no longer keep the grudge in their hearts. It has to be vomited.
The NPP party is decorated with a fleet of cars, and many questioned the funding power of the party that has just been launched recently. But Mr. Njai said it is the president's friends bankrolling it.
You see, you are saying this as if you were ever been told that this money emanated from the president personally. Nobody ever said that. And the president himself never said that all these monies came from his pocket. Remember, the National People's Party is a bona fide registered party, Gambian political party. And the president has so many friends, even before he became president, friends of an affluence, people that have money, and legal money for that matter. Is it illegal for them to support the president's political cause? I suppose not. So if, for instance, Binet were to have her own political party, and Mambanyik being Binet's friend is a multimillionaire, would it be wrong for me to support Binet's political agenda? So long as my money is coming from a completely legal source, I have not been incriminated in any illegal business.
According to our source, 60 pickups have already been given to the party and 40 more are expected, and each pickup worth about $1.8 million. Political party heads have censored the president on the legitimacy of the pickups given to the party. In a statement, Mai Amat Fati said the NPP have more vehicles than many government departments that needs them to deliver essential services. He added that Gambian hospitals lack critical supplies, but the NPP continues to expand its vehicle fleet across the country. For iAfrica TV News, Binta Jallo.
Political elites in the Gambia raised concern on the recent cocaine seizure at the Gambia seaport. From there, we'll go straight to matters of the COVID-19. The Gambia has on Thursday recorded 112 new cases of COVID-19, taking the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 4,414, the highest digit in the month of February. 3 deaths were also reported, bringing the total number of COVID-19 deaths to 138. A total of 1,159 new laboratory test results were received from the Medical Research Council and the National Public Health Laboratory, according to the latest report released by the Ministry of Health. 10 COVID-19 patients were newly discharged from the treatment centers, bringing the total number of recoveries to 3,901 since the confirmation of the virus last year. The report also indicated that 38 people were newly taken into quarantine, and the country currently has 74 people in quarantine, 375 active cases, a crude case fatality ratio of 3.1%. From that COVID update, we go straight to matters of food and basic commodities. Gambians raised concern on the increment of price on food commodities in the market, as food is a basic necessity to human growth. Both traders and consumers are worried about the lack of price control in the country. iAfrica TV's Amindao was at the Banjul market, and she now files in this report.
The recent increment on food commodities in the Gambia is of great concern to the citizens. Despite the free trading market regime, there is still lack of price control in the markets. Morikeba Koli, a vendor at the Banjul market, expresses his concern on the country's increment of commodities.
If you buy a commodity right now and you go back there again, the price will be increased. Right now, the price of a bag of rice should be decreased, but it hasn't. The price of rice, onion and potato is still very high. We spent money on our children to go to Europe through the back way. Knowing how hard the back way is, they said they will bring them back. Do you think we have peace in this country? Because all our feedings are costly. Our transportation is costly as well. There is no medicine in our hospitals. Our children are not learning, and our farming system is not good. Everything is hard on us. What can we do?
Ndeka, a consumer, says they are living in a difficult situation because whatever they have is spent on their feeding.
Right
now, everything is costly. We have a family and there is no money now. We want the price reduction. Please let them help us and reduce the price of commodities because they are expensive. For the fish, if you don't pull out $200, you will not eat it. And if it is a bigger fish, you have to pay $300 in order to get it. We really want a reduction in prices because whatever we have right now, we spend it on food. We are no longer saving in the banks. Whatever we sold, we use it on food. That is the situation we are in.
Sirejasi, another vendor, says the market is very hard on the women right now. They are facing a lot at the market.
Right now, the price of commodities is very expensive. Even the commodities we are also selling right now is expensive. These catfish are being imported from Senegal and Guinea-Bissau. A basket sometimes costs $4,700. Since morning, I have been sitting here with 3 baskets. I have only sold out $250 since in the morning. I am going to loan out the $2,000 cost of catfish to my client right now, and she pays it at her convenience. I take it because if I take commodities from people, with or without selling it, I will have to pay them their money at the end of the day. The market is very hard on the women right now. The fish money of some women is $250. When they come to me and explain their situations, I normally sympathize them and reduce the price for them.
Consumers, traders and vendors have blamed one another for the sudden hike in prices of basic commodities. However, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment said increase in prices, particularly for rice and edible oil, is a global phenomenon brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
That story filed by Amindao on the price increment of basic food commodities will take us to a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
If you are looking for opportunities in management and haven't found one, Seabeck College and other education or specialized training institutes in the Gambia offer management training to youths without prior training or certificates, strengthening their skills in planning, organizing, leading and directing, and handling key management tasks in an organization. Some of these management graduates go on to find meaningful employment, with some graduates deciding to start their own business. If you need post-training guidance, this institution is involved in the welfare of its graduates, offering career guidance, including job application and interview preparation, in addition to their certified trainings. Are you one of those who believe that taking the back way is the only way to success? Head over to wakawell.info/Gambia to find out more about safe migration procedures and local opportunities for education, employment, and entrepreneurship in the Gambia.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of the stories. Mohamed Sirif Ibrahim Al-Haidara, the representative of the West Africa Guinea business community, has unveiled his plans to invest his business in the Gambia and within the sub-region. Sirif Ibrahim Al-Haidara discloses this development during a recent press conference while calling on his fellow Guinean business owners to partner with him. Fatmata Kasim has the rest of that.
The businessman from Guinea-Conakry also represented the West African business community. Sirif Ibrahim Al-Haidara urges his fellow Guinean businessmen in the Gambia to come together to do a partnership with him in business. Many Guinean investors, including Ibrahim Al-Haidara, could not invest in their country due to unfavorable political climate in the West African country. According to Mr. Haidara, they are visiting Banjul mainly to encourage and protect Guinean businessmen in the country by inviting more investors to invest in the Gambia.
L'opportunité des investissements.
We have representatives all over the world, and we had meetings with most of our partners in Europe, Asia, and in the Middle East, who can come and invest in the Gambia in all sectors like electricity, road networking, and constructions, because there is a lot of opportunities in the country.
He urged his business counterpart to visit Banjul and do a survey in the business industry in the country.
Il faut venir s'imprégner de la situation et faire l'étude du marché.
We calling our partners and stakeholders to come and do a survey on the business environment in the Gambia to enable them have a first-hand information on the business industry in the country and how businessmen are operating and how to encourage other serious businessmen to come invest, because Africa is one family.
Lamin Kaba, the Chief Executive Officer of Star GSM, lauded the initiative, saying the coming of Mr. Haidara and his team to the Gambia is to make businesses accessible and create more opportunities for both Guineans and the Gambian people. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
A Guinean national to invest his business in the Gambia. Now to some sport news. Traditional wrestling is one of the oldest sports in the Gambia, and its festivities are common occurrence. Adam Jallo, a female wrestling promoter in the Gambia, tells iAfrica TV that wrestling can go forward when there is support from both the wrestlers and their supporters. Amindao tells us more.
Dance and music, traditionally tied to village activities, are still important today. A display of this is usually seen during wrestling contests and celebrations. However, in the Gambia, wrestling is more than just sport and entertainment. It is crucial to culture, and celebrating it is a sign of unity. Wrestling is organized to reflect on some of the most deeply rooted ideals of the societies that support it. A female wrestling promoter, Adam Jallo, says wrestlers should be willing to wrestle each time they are called upon.
A promoter will just invest money on a wrestling game, but one of the things that can make a wrestling game forward is a supportive wrestler. If the wrestler comes to wrestle, the game will go forward, but when he comes just to sit down and do nothing, the game won't go forward, because no one will waste their resources and time to buy his ticket. To be honest, this is not a nice thing. Buying a ticket and the game not unfolding is not right at all. What we want is a brave wrestler that will not be afraid of his opponent, so that the game will happen.
C, however, urges the government and non-governmental institutions to come forward to finance wrestling.
Wrestling in the country is in the hands of the supporters, and there is nothing wrong with that. We have many institutions in this country, but they are not very supportive when it comes to sponsoring wrestling events. Part of the reason why Senegal, our neighboring country, is moving forward with wrestling is because of its supportive companies present. We have only one main sponsor that is taking lead in sponsoring almost all our wrestling games. That company alone is not strong enough to be sponsoring all the wrestling games in this country. We are pledging on all sponsors to come out and help the wrestling fraternity in this country.
Wrestling involves each opponent grabbing the other's trunks at the start of the bout. Gambian wrestling seems to have evolved as a modified version of real combat techniques. Traditional warriors defeated their opponents by carrying them overhead and throwing them on the ground with great force, preferably on their back. Over time, this sport has taken new developments in which some form of boxing has been introduced into the sport as it is today. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
A Gambian female wrestling promoter urges for support of the rest of wrestling in the Gambia. That's all we have for you in today's edition of Gambia24. Thanks for watching. I was representative Mariama Cham, and do have a good night.
tey moom dama ne naa ñëw xool si sa tabax gi.
loolu nag kontaan naa si bu baax.
seen nag yow kontaan nga waaye man kontaanuma ndax bul fàtte ne man ak yow ñoo